The Fourth Amendment gives us protection from our government from unreasonable search and seizure. This is a United States constitutional right that is very important when police officers are, one, arresting a person or looking at a person to determine whether there is probable cause to move forward. So if a police officer is suspicious of something that is going on, they may want to find further evidence by searching, for instance, their home. In order to do that and not violate the Fourth Amendment, they have to get a warrant. A warrant is written permission by an officer of the court to actually arrest a person or search or actually take something of theirs. In order to have a valid warrant, it has to be supported by an affidavit. It has to be very particular. It cannot be a general statement that you want to search the house. It has to be, I want to search the house for a particular item, for a 9mm gun. You have to have some evidence or some reasonable suspicion or probable cause that the item will actually be found in that location. It cannot be that you're just guessing that that's where they would keep it. Certainly in the affidavit, probable cause would be established if you had a witness who saw the person walk into that home with the particular item. Then finally, this evidence is presented to the judge. The judge has to sign off on that in order for it to be a valid warrant. When in doubt, an officer should always have a warrant. However, there are some exceptions to this where a warrantless search is allowed and does not violate the Fourth Amendment. This is a list of the different opportunities or times where a warrantless search has been sustained as a valid search. One is the plain view doctrine. The plain view doctrine says that if you are legally in a certain place and something is laid out in plain view, you do not need a warrant in order to seize or to view that item as part of an investigation. Take, for instance, our case where you have a warrant looking for a 9mm gun. You go into a person's house to search just for that 9mm gun. You walk into the house, and on the coffee table there is a white substance that appears to be a drug. The police are allowed to seize that particular amount of cocaine or whatever it may be as part of a valid search. Even though the warrant did not describe any drugs that they were looking for, that becomes part of the plain view doctrine, and they're allowed to seize that then as well. Even though the warrant did not say that, and even if they did not have a warrant. If the police simply got consent to walk into somebody's home, saw the same thing, that would be equally admissible in terms of a warrantless search. We also have the open fields doctrine. Open fields doctrine simply says that under the Fourth Amendment you do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy where you are out in the open. If you are walking down the street carrying that 9mm gun where the police can see it, the police don't need a warrant in order to seize that if that's what they're searching for in relation to some sort of investigation. As long as it's open with no reasonable expectation of privacy, police do not need a warrant in order to do a search and seizure of that particular item. Same with dropped evidence. Say, for instance, you, for whatever reason, are running from the police and you accidentally drop whatever, for instance, that 9mm gun. If you accidentally drop that, or you drop some sort of drug paraphernalia, you drop it, you abandon it, that is a valid it is valid for the police officers to come and seize that at that point in time. They do not have to go and get a warrant in order to gather that information. Also along those lines, garbage is considered, there's no reasonable expectation for garbage, so if you set out your garbage, police are allowed to search that. There's nothing that creates that reasonable expectation of privacy. They do not need a warrant in order to search your garbage. If you have contraband, contraband is something that is illegal. The police do not have to have a warrant in order to seize contraband. If they find drugs, they're able to seize that. This will be continued on the next set of videos.